Okay. I ranted about what I didn't like about Saints Row 4. Thinking that's everything. If I think of something else, I'm pretty sure it'll pop up. Now, what I liked about it. This is going to be a debate, I realize, and I just want to throw this out here right now. My disclaimer. This is just my opinion. And it's not going to make sense at first. But I'm going to do my damnedest to explain why I feel this way. I think Saints Row 4 makes you feel sympathetic for the characters better than Mass Effect. I'm not talking about one game in Mass Effect. I'm talking the entire series. And this is why. Mass Effect 1, you met most of your team. You met Garrus, Liara, Tali. Like Tali. No, Miranda wasn't in it. Ash. Ash or Kaidan. Joker. And the only characters I really made a connection with in the first game were Tali and Joker. Mass Effect 2, you learn more about every character, including Jack, Miranda, and Jacob. In Mass Effect 3, you learn more about Liara. Well, you learn about Liara in Mass Effect 2, but that's a different video altogether, and Liara pisses me off. But you learn about Garrus, Tali, Joker, basically everyone you've had since the first game, as well as the characters from the second game. And while I understand it did it well, it took them 3 fucking games to make you, well, not necessarily 3 fucking games to make you feel sympathetic for them. It took you 2 for most of them. Because I didn't have an emotional connection to Garrus in the first game, but I did in the second. I didn't have an emotional connection to Grunt in the first game, but I did in the second. I still don't have an emotional connection to Ashley or Kaidan. I think Kaidan's one of the dullest characters in the game, but again, just me. I can't stand Miranda. There's a comic strip on the internet where it's Miranda telling everybody, I'm genetically perfect in every way, over and over and over again, until the last panel, why doesn't anyone like me? That sums up what I think about Miranda. All she does is tell people how good she is and wonder why she isn't liked in the second game. Not sure about the third. I'll admit I haven't beaten the third. It's not just the ending that detracts me from the third. What I've seen my roommate play of the third, and certain scenes, and Tali, Legion, yeah, I'm just going to leave it there. Saints Row 4, I haven't played much of the second game. I haven't played any of the first. So I have no fucking idea who the hell Benjamin King is, other than he's one of the bad guys in the first game. He's one of my favorite characters in the fourth, and not because Terry Crews voices him this time around, which is reason enough. Terry Crews is fucking awesome. He's one of my favorite characters because his first mission, when you try to get him on your crew, isn't just a summary of the first game. You learn about the character. You learn that he's bitter that you're president, but at the same time, he's going to help you out. Johnny Gat, I haven't gotten to him yet, but they build up to his big, huge emotional return. Johnny Gat's a series staple. He's been there since the first game. Again, I've never played the first game, not that far in the second, and in the third, he's dead within the first mission. Well, dead. And they're building up to this whole thing of my best friend's coming back to the game. It's done well. Pierce. Never was a big fan of him, but they make you like him in this one. The Giant Saints Flow Canning Paul, for example. But what blows my mind is Shaundi in it. Because they have 2 Shaundis. They have Fun Shaundi from Saints Row 2, and then regular Shaundi from 3 and 4. while I'm upset about something they did with Fun Shandy in it, I don't want to spoil it, it's interesting. Because you can romance just about every character in the game. You can romance Kinsey. It's one of the most interesting scenes I've seen in the game. You can romance Benjamin King, and without spoiling anything, it's one of the funniest scenes in the game. But when you romance Shandy, it's not just like the other scenes where it's like, hey, I want to have sex. There is a build-up that puts this human connection to them. From what I've heard from my other roommate, Johnny Gat's the same way. And it makes sense because, again, Johnny Gat's been there since the first game. Now, I know the romances are there, one, as a side thing, and two, to poke fun at Mass Effect. But here's the thing. They're really, really well written. They're brilliantly done. They do make you either laugh or have an emotional connection with the character. Or missions where you recruit the other characters or their side missions. Matt Miller's one. His loyalty mission is making him become something else. I don't want to ruin it. And the way it's done is heartbreaking, but awesome. Well, it's heartbreaking to me, at least. And it's just... They did, in one game, what Mass Effect was trying to do in 3, and still didn't completely do for everyone. I mean, again, I'm going to go through a list of Mass Effect characters I have no desire to have on my party at all, based on the fact that they are bland characters to me. Jacob, Miranda, Ashley, Kaidan, Liara. It's 5? I don't like Jack, but she's a more interesting character than any of them. I'll admit that. And I have to admit, Jack does have a special place in my heart, depending on what you do with her. You know, if you romance her or you try to become her friend. If you're not a complete dick to her, her character changes. And it's brilliantly done. Unlike Liara's. Or Miranda's, from what I've seen. Again, I know there's a lot in 3 I haven't seen with Miranda, so... But there's a lot of Jacob I've seen in 3 that makes no fucking sense at all. Especially with a line in 2. Yeah. And Liara's character transformation from 1 to 2 comes out of fucking left field, if you ask me. There may be something I completely missed. I will admit that. But, you know, that's 5 people in your game, or in the game, that I can't relate to, that I don't like, or that just utterly bore me. Whereas I'm hard-pressed to find a character in Saints Row 4 that I don't like, other than, Pierce. And even then, Pierce... I'm going to spoil this. Every other romance, except for Kinsey, builds up to, like, a joke. And Pierce's, you're thinking since Shandy's was very emotional and intimate, or it builds up to a payoff, you think Pierce's is going to be intimate too. And yes, I'm playing as a male character, but I'm basically romancing everyone I can just to see the scenes. There's no actual sex scenes, it's just you walk off or something happens, you know. You go up to Pierce. Again, I'm spoiling this, I know. And you go, hey, Pierce, we've been through a lot together. Pierce is like, yeah, I know. We almost died. We busted Loren's gang. We busted the, this gang, the Ronins, the Brotherhood, blah, blah. Did some weird stuff. And your character goes, want to add casual sex to that list? Okay. And they just walk off with this goofy grin on their faces. It's brilliant. It didn't need to be emotional because, one, it's not within Pierce's character, really. And two, if you're going to do something that's that goofy with both a male character and a female character, because it does apply, then it works. It builds up the characters of Pierce and the boss, depending on how you want your boss to be. Shandi's romance. It builds up her character. You find out something from the third game in it. Benjamin King, you find out something about his character, and if you watch his expressions closely, you learn more things about his character during that one scene that are utterly brilliant. They even took a background character, well, not really a background character, but a character that's not romanceable, that you can try to romance, in Keith David. And if you listen to his dialogue when he tells you, no, I'm not interested in you that way, it's really well done and hints at other things. If you just talk to him, it hints at other things. There's a lot of character development in Saints Row 4 just from subtext as well as things that are completely optional. Whereas Mass Effect, yeah, there are optional, optional scenes where you could talk to someone or not. But if you didn't do those scenes, you knew nothing about the characters other than when they're talking in your squad. Well, I did talk to my characters in Mass Effect 1 and 2. I talked to Garrus, I talked to Tali. Seriously, Tali's story fascinated me. Call me weird if you must, but Tali's story in Mass Effect 3 fascinated me. Her race, her own personal past. That's why it pissed me off she wasn't romanceable in the first game, but I was happy she was in the second. Because that character makes you fall in love with her. Not just, oh, I want to have her babies fall in love, but with the character, with the concept, with her history, with her race. Whereas Garrus, Turians didn't do that. The Asari didn't do that. The Asari, I hate to say it, but I feel the Asari were just there just to have half-naked blue women. I know they did flesh out the story of the Asari in the second game a lot. I'm pretty sure they did in the third, too. But it doesn't change the fact that they have a race of all women. Of all women. And this is another thing that bothers me about Mass Effect that they did right in Saints Row 4. I have a friend that's gay. He's big into Mass Effect until 3. His reason being, and this is interesting, they just introduced gay relationships, not lesbian relationships, gay relationships in the third game. And what he felt was, you could make your Shepard a lesbian with the Asari, even though technically the Asari don't have a gender. But because they look female to every race, they're female. So, by all rights, you have a lesbian character if you're playing as a femme-shep. But if you're playing as male Shepard, you only have, up to the third game, female romances. So by the third game, Shepard is gay? If you wanted a gay relationship, put it in the first game. Now, I know there's a lot of people who are going to say, oh, we wouldn't have had that, we wouldn't like that back then. Dragon Age. I know it was after Mass Effect 1. Dragon Age had gay romances. So at least by the second game, they could have done it. Saints Row 4. This is the first game they had any romances in, and again, it's kind of a side joke to Mass Effect. Your character can be straight, he can be gay, lesbian, or she can be lesbian, or bisexual. While it's not mentioned in the first game, it didn't need to be, or the second, again, didn't need to be, and it didn't need to be in the third. Well, it didn't need to be in this one, it's there as a joke. And they fleshed it out more than Mass Effect 1! Not just out of, we can do it, and not just out of humor, But they seriously put their hearts into the scenes. They put their hearts into the writing. They make... I know, I'm ranting. And it's not just the romance scenes. It's everything else in it. There's a scene where you're rescuing one of the characters, and you don't hear your conversation with another character, but it ends with you getting hit in the balls. I know it sounds mad, but I'm not. It's an interesting scene because you really wonder what was going on between your character and the other one that you're talking to. It's just vastly more interesting to me than Mass Effect 1's, hey, here's a mission, I'm going to take this guy because he's good at shooting, this guy because he will bull rush people. And again, I'm taking all the dialogue options out of that, because it's completely optional in Mass Effect 1. Now, if you do have the dialogue options, that means you have about 2 to 3 favorite characters in Mass Effect 1. Mine were Tali, or Rex. Grunt was in the second. So Tali, Rex, and Garrus. And I only took Garrus because he was a sniper. I really didn't care about Garrus that much in the first game. He was just there. Ashley was just there. And seriously, it took me 2 games to get, or 2 games to get me to like Garrus. 3 games to get me to give a damn about Ashley, and I still really don't. And Saints Row 4 does it in 1, and not even a whole game. Now, yeah, I ranted on the story. The gameplay is great. If you're into the ridiculous stuff. Sorry, my nose is really itchy. Allergies over here have been pain in the ass. But, you know, it's the same kooky gameplay as Grand Theft Auto, sorry. Saints Row 3. Grand Theft Saint 3, yeah, there we go. Just with superpowers. And it's just, while you feel overpowered, believe me, it's good stress relief. So I would definitely give it a try. The next review I'm going to do, if I do, or like this, I'm going to try to do Grand Theft Auto 5. I've got some spoilers on it that may change my mind, but I doubt it. But with the money thing right now, what I'm working on, I may get it used, it may not be for a while. I may end up doing another review in the meantime. So, that's my thought. Hate me if you must. Love me if you will. Please, don't play. Just let me know what you think if you had a different opinion. I'm not going to lambaste you on it. It's not my thing. Everybody agrees or disagrees depending on what they feel. But if you have something I failed to point out, let me know. I might make an amendment or amendment to the video, or mention it in the comments. Say, oh yeah, you're right about this, or go into why I don't agree. But again, it's not going to be argumentative. It's a very civil thing. I'm rambling. Sorry, don't mind me. But anyway, I will talk to you guys later.